It's time to break the cycle of waste and mess. Time to stop accepting that the way things have been done are the way they should be done. Control-Alt-Delete everything you thought you knew about how to period. We're flipping the script, we're throwing out the book, we're challenging the period status quo. The Diva Cup is eco-friendly, reusable, and offers up to 12 hours leak-free protection. So what are you waiting for? Join the inner revolution with the Diva Cup. The Diva Cup is used for menstrual flow only. Always read and follow the user guide.
Good morning, you mongrels. Is that all the gusto you can muster? I said good morning. Anyways, hello, Wildcats. It's your boy Kev, just coming here to give you a quick disclaimer here before we start, letting you know that we are a comedy and crime podcast. So even though we do cover many true cases and serious events, we do like to throw in some inappropriate jokes and dark humor every now and then. So we just didn't want you to get surprised. Like the time I got surprised when my grandfather invited me over because he was having car problems and he said he wanted me to come over to give him a hand with a rim job. That's not funny. Anyways, thank you all for listening. Be good, stay safe, and laugh at the dark stuff. Hashtag Wildman.
All right, fellas, like we practiced.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4.
Come on down. Come on down, hanging with the brothers tonight, yeah. Come on down to the Brothers Commonplace tonight.
Alrighty, welcome everyone to the Brothers Commonplace, a comedy and crime podcast where we cover monsters, murders, mysteries, and more. And today, before we jump into our super exciting case, I want to introduce y'all to the band from the show California Dreams.
Ooh, I love that. What's going on, guys? This is Tim, or as you guys call me on Halloween, Jaden Smith.
What?
Dude, the funniest thing is how in the fuck would I have a Jaden Smith costume?
He's dressed as Kyrie Irving.
You couldn't do it without, being super racist.
You really couldn't. Because it's just blackface.
Yeah, but that's a good costume, though. It's
yeah,
pretty good.
I mean, I'm not very good at karate either. So I mean, I guess
you know those.
You could pull it off by making a bunch of quotes that sound really deep but really aren't.
That's true.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, what up? This is Spence, or as they called me at the Game of Thrones marathon, the Whitest Walker.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, dude, I like that. That's good.
What's up?
Oh, shit.
No one else got joining?
What's up?
Not much. Just chilling, killing. It's a tooth.
And it's your boy Kev, a.k.a. the Dirty Dog, a.k.a. making his return. It's the fucking Rattlesnake Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Get in the fucking remix, man. Give me a title shot or I'll fucking kill you.
I love the voices. Can we keep going?
Yeah.
Austin, you son of a bitch.
Holy
You're fired.
No, McMahon, I'll come at you with a fucking crossbow like you was a vampire.
Back out, motherfucker.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit. You don't sound like Vince McMahon at all. Like, I'm just afraid. I feel like I'm watching a horror movie.
It's like a guy who's been screaming for hours and he finally gets confronted. This fucking ass voice.
So, alrighty, Halloween may be over, but that doesn't mean that all those monsters are in hiding. Today, we cover a scary and unsolved case about the horrors of answering the telephone.
Ooh.
Just like my favorite movie of all time, take the advice, don't answer the phone.
That's right. Today we will be discussing the disappearance and murder of Dorothy Jane Scott. The only thing worse than being a woman and answering the phone with the horrifying stalker on the other end is hearing that ring and reaching for that cellular telephone, all while being a coach in Cleveland.
Oh. Holy shit.
Bring back Blatt.
Hey, we know Francona's good, though.
He's fucking good.
He's not going anywhere.
And so this episode, it will also be a tie-in to our next bonus Patreon episode, which the Demon Wind, that review should be up by the time you hear this. And the next one is going to be a movie review of Don't Answer the Phone. So that's a tie-in to this case right here.
The reason why it's not on yet is because we didn't answer the phone.
So yes, the dangers of answering the phone. Speaking of not answering the phone, Toof here, he used to be the king of prank phone calls.
Oh, okay.
He used to be, he just used to be a little asshole when he used to do it, man. He would do it.
Oh, yeah.
He would do it as Macho Man.
Honestly, we could probably make a Patreon on all the
No,
prank
should we?
calls.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Should we save that for like people that paid for it, or should
Let's
we
give
tell
them
them?
one taste. Let's give them a taste and see what they. Give them a taste and see if they want to
we
purchase
give them
the
a
goods.
taste of old tooth.
This is how you get people addicted to drugs.
Oh, this is true.
Let's hear it, Toof.
It's one of the ones I do have recordings of. Because, like, all right, back in the day, I would prank call people and not even dial *67 or nothing. Just call them with my number. And when they called back, it just went straight to voicemail or whatever the fuck I had it set up as. It never said my name. Well, I prank called one of my friends' stepbrothers. I prank called him as Macho Man. And I called him like 3 a.m. a couple times. And I think I just left some shit on his voicemail. It was just like,
Hey, it's the Macho Man. If you want to challenge me tonight, I'll beat your ass in the front yard. Ooh, yeah.
so he called me back, and what's great is I kept on speakerphone and recorded all these on my computer years ago, so I still have all these. And maybe on the Patreon we could actually play it.
Oh, that's up to you, man.
Yes.
Pretty good. I like
The
that.
answer is yes.
I like that.
And he just calls me. He's like, hey, Macho Man retard. I'm tired of you calling up all hours of the night, waking my kid up. I got a little infant child here. You keep waking him up. I forget what else he said, but it's pretty much like, I'll beat your stupid retard ass. And he's like, I know who you are, and let's just leave it at that. And I was like, what? Then just say it, fucker. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's what's good. Is like he's like, I know who you are, Macho Man retard. It's like, well, obviously, if you knew who he was, you'd say his name, you know. All right. So, anything else before we move on to the case?
I'll just say this. When I drove to the market, I could see the sidewalks lined with bodies. The women and children were the first ones to fall.
What the?
Oh, yeah. Also, from Star Wars, what movie is that?
That's
First,
like-
second, or third?
I think it's the second one. Or wait, no, the third one. Right?
I killed them.
Episode 2, Episode 3, or are we talking
Yeah.
Empire
I
or
killed
Return?
them.
No,
Oh,
which
I
one?
killed them.
What the quote's from? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Two, right?
I killed them. I killed them all. They're dead. Every single one of them. And not just the men, but the women. And the children, too. They're like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals. I hate them.
Kevin, take off where we left off, brother.
Alrighty, and on to the case. And a lot of this info comes from the article on Medium.com by Brenda Thornlow. So shout out to that. They had a lot of good information on there.
Yeah, their topics aren't too spicy.
Is that
Medium?
like medium?
Yeah, it's a medium.
Oh, okay.
Christ.
I was waiting for like a muckload. I was thinking it was gonna be like a muckload
Oh,
joke.
Brenda is quite the wild Thornlowberry.
Oh, yeah. I like that one. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Smashing. Now, in order to try and solve this mystery, we are going to have to travel to the other side of the United States, all the way.
To Panama.
No.
All right.
I'll give you a hint, though. If you know the words, sing along. We've been on the run, driving in the sun, looking out for number one.
It's
California,
Yeah, it's
here
California,
we
yeah.
come.
That's right. Yep, Oregon.
This one. Oh, holy shit.
No, it is California.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's right. We brothers here are packing up our game, and we are heading out west. We're real women
Come equipped with what, Kevin?
with scripts and fake breasts, baby.
Where do they find a nest at, Kevin?
This case takes place in Anaheim, California in the year of 1980.
I feel like your mom lied to me like a lot of times.
And instead of the Kid Rock and that other joke, I was going to do California.
Oh my god!
But I didn't know.
That's fucking movie.
Yeah, the
It was
Wizard. I
trash,
didn't know
yeah.
if you guys would remember that
Oh,
movie.
I know what it is. Yeah, California.
The Wizard. It's this shitty movie. It has Fred Savage and Christian Slater. But the
you
movie
didn't
sucks.
have to say
Oh,
shitty.
I thought
You
that
could-
was the one with Michael Jackson and the rest of
That's
the...
the
No,
Wiz.
that's the Wiz.
Yeah.
That movie's
you-
awesome.
But yeah, you literally could have just said that it was a movie with Fred Savage, and they would have known it was shitty.
Well,
Yeah.
Little
Yeah.
Monsters is
Yeah.
awesome though.
It's
dude.
Or
not.
the
But
show
it's
with
an
Fred
alright
Savage,
movie.
and then it's at least maybe 50% okay.
But
I
the
like-
the Wizard though, I signed a petition to get that movie released on DVD,
Yeah.
and that might have been probably the worst decision I've ever made in my life. That movie fucking sucked.
Wait, you did?
Yes.
Well, did they show up at your door?
Nope. I searched out this website. I found, because I noticed that The Wizard wasn't out on DVD, I found a site that was gathering signatures for a petition, which I signed and got that movie released. So if you do enjoy that movie, you are very welcome.
It's crazy.
Hats off to Kevin and the rest of the gang.
I had actually seen it, when I was searching virgins.com.
Yeah, you had to scroll through a bunch of pictures of us to get to it.
I know. I just saw pictures of myself. I was just looking for Tooth at that point, but no.
Kev, I got some bad news for you.
Yeah.
Well, you did find the petition for that, but you also found some words of wisdom, because that was me and Andrew. We tricked you. You signed a petition for something much darker that you will find
I'm
out.
so excited
Maybe
to hear
later
about
today.
that later. Yeah.
Actually.
So it's a lot darker. So it wasn't the wizard, it was the whiz. I'm just joking. So alrighty, moving on.
Wait. Can we crack a joke about like your whiz being dark after drinking like a shit ton of poppin' beers?
Sure, dude. Crack it. Yeah. So already, Anaheim, California, and there are 1 million baseball pitchers that were born in Anaheim, so that's just like a little FYI. And also, Crash Holly was born there. And sadly, Crash Holly would pass away and then become an angel, but not in the outfield because he died in Florida.
Yeah,
So-
I'm pretty sure he killed himself.
So moving on. Rest in peace, Crash Holly.
All right.
So already, 1980. Actually, we will be in Stanton, California, which is about 20 minutes north of Anaheim. Dorothy Jane Scott, at the time a 32-year-old single mother, and she has a 4-year-old son named Sean. And here in Stanton...
And a best mom in the world mug.
This is so much, man. So her last name is Scott.
Yes.
And she lives in Stanton.
Yeah, not Scranton, though.
Not Scranton, but it's really close.
It is close. It is close.
It's very close.
We're going to touch up on the kid's name too?
Gee, this is going to be a 12-hour-long episode, guys.
His middle name's William, right?
No. It's the name of the actor that played Stifler.
Sean William Scott. You didn't have that joke ready?
No, because
I didn't either.
I just expected Fallout 4 jokes. And here in Stanton, Dorothy and Sean, they're living with their aunt. And Dorothy's friends, they would describe her as being kind and compassionate, and she also went to church with her son. And being a single mother is never an easy thing to do, so all of her time was spent with her son or at her job.
Do you have a small description of the son?
No.
He was always stoned, couldn't find his car maybe? Is this the mystery part?
It's literally just, dude, where's my car? Yeah. Is that what it is? Holy shit, dude.
All right, I'm done with the Sean William Scott. Wait, was his mom hot?
She's
Leave him alone. He doesn't know anything.
Okay, Stifler's mom. I was going to say, Dorothy is an attractive lady, though. She is
The
good looking.
fucking thing is, at first, I didn't know what you were doing.
And because of being a single mother and always working, she rarely went out or dated. She much preferred spending time at home with Sean and just hanging out together with him. And here's a quote from Dorothy's brother about her. She exemplified the word give. She'd just give and give and give, no matter what it cost her. And Dorothy, she was employed at the Swingers Psych Shop and also at Custom John's Head Shop.
Is this real? Is this
Can't do
real?
this. You're giving us way too much.
That's not even the funniest name about something we'll come across
That isn't?
later. No.
Holy
Holy
shit.
shit.
And this was a joint-owned business, so they were both...
Oh, it was a joint-owned business?
Well, just wait to hear what it is.
It's gonna happen. Just go.
And they were both connected. And she was a secretary that worked in the back away from the customers.
Yep.
But yeah, this is a head shop.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
So selling like bongs and pipes and things
No,
like that.
you're not allowed to call it that.
It's a water pipe.
Water pipe, or we will kick you out of
It's
the
a
store.
bubbler.
I like that they all have signs that say for tobacco use only.
Fuck yeah, dude.
We used to go to this head shop that was called Crescent Moon, and they sold a bunch of like your normal shit, bongs, pipes, all that other stuff, and then also Bone Thugs t-shirts. I have no idea why. It was all like stuff like that, and then just t-shirts for Bone Thugs.
I'm not really sure. They also sold just bones.
Would you like to buy these bones?
Yeah, they just randomly, just one time, they were like, hey, man, they're just these bones. I was like, fine, I'm down with this.
They were dumpster diving behind KFC.
And here's where things start to get creepy and weird. So this is in 1980. Dorothy began to get a bunch of phone calls from an unknown person. It was a male's voice, but she was never able to find out who it was, although she claimed that she could recognize the voice from somewhere, but she couldn't put a face to it and couldn't just figure out who it was. And one of the weird things about this, besides not knowing who the hell keeps calling, but the man on the other end of the line was unpredictable. Like sometimes he was very nice and he was, quote, fawning and complimentary. And then other times he was angry, menacing, just a straight up psychotic dickhead. So sometimes he's like, oh, I think you're like beautiful, I love you. Then other times he would be like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. So all right, so here's an example of what this dude would say. Okay, now you're going to come my way, and when I get you alone, I will cut you up into bits so no one will ever find you.
Wait, when he got her a loan, like a house loan, a car loan?
Wait till I get you this fucking bank loan.
I'm going to chop that mortgage up into bits and scatter them into the wind.
But yeah, so it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
To me, it sounds like a pretty fucking nice guy.
He's going to cut her up some Reese pieces. You know, baby, those aren't small enough. Let's cut them up a little bit.
No,
Please hurry, please hurry. Please say something else, Kev. Continue on.
He sounds like an
And that
asshole.
joke.
He sounds like an asshole.
And you could possibly just blow it off and assume it's just somebody fucking with her, or like, yeah, it's shitty and creepy, but it could just be some weirdo doing what he thinks is funny. But then it gets crazier. He would even tell her what she was wearing that day, where she went, and all these small details on the shit that was part of her normal everyday routine. Like, this guy was straight up stalking her, possibly following her around. Everything she was doing, he knew about it.
And she lived with her sister?
With her aunt.
With her aunt. So
And-
she would get the phone. They all. I mean, it's 1980s. So there was only one phone in the house.
Well, she's getting called at her work and at home.
Oh,
So
okay.
this dude is calling her all over the place.
Yeah, I get those weird phone calls. We were like, I know what you're wearing, baby. And I'm like, I'm naked. And you're like, yeah, so am I. I'm like, what? That's
Oh, dear
crazy.
God. Yeah, that sounds great.
You're itching your asshole right now.
Yep, amazing.
Wrong
Love
again, Buster. I'm licking it. Yoga's paying off.
And to nobody's surprise, Dorothy was frightened. The girl was pretty fucking spooked at this point, so she started taking classes for self-defense and even considered buying a gun for protection. But she would end up deciding not to get the gun because she was worried that little 4-year-old Sean might somehow get a hold of it and end up like that kid from The Sixth Sense.
it. Oh.
So now let's move on to May 28th, skipping right past May 19th for all you wrestling fans and fellow scrubs out there.
They needed to skip past that. Yeah, this is fine.
When did these phone calls take place? Just earlier in the year?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is a staff meeting at the head shop that's going on in the evening this day. Before heading over there, Dorothy swings by her parents' house and drops off Sean. And then she heads to the meeting. And everything is normal so far. So far, so good. And then during the meeting, she notices that her coworker, Conrad Bostron, fun
Fuck yeah, that's
fun
a good
note.
Nope. We have to stop on that one.
Fun note about this guy: his
Yeah.
favorite NBA team is actually the Boston Celtics.
Well, he seems like a pretty rad guy.
We have to. That's his name.
Conrad Bostron.
Like we're going with that. Like that's actually his name.
Yeah, that's his name. It's pretty good. And so Conrad, he's looking a little under the weather. Something isn't right with him, and Dorothy notices this. And on Conrad's arm, there was a large red streak, and it was becoming more and more inflamed. So that's not a good sign. Something's definitely up. And Dorothy urges Conrad to go get some medical help or go to the ER or just anything. So she volunteers to drive him there. So hell yeah, that's super nice of her.
It was, yeah.
And then another of the employees at the head shop, I don't want to say her name, but she offers to ride along with them to the hospital.
Just say your name. What is it?
Okay. Her name is Pam Head.
Oh,
It's a fucking stupid name.
oh my god, dude. Wait, does she own the head shop?
No.
Dude, so when
Shit, dude.
when they took Conrad to the hospital, was it a tennis related injury? Is the fucking black dude from fucking Club Dreads named Conrad?
I don't know.
The British talking guy?
No.
I'm pretty sure it isn't. I don't know.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is, dude.
Isn't it like Putman or something?
it's something.
Putnam?
No, Putman. And that boy was me.
Why were they going to the hospital again?
The red streak.
Because Conrad, his arm was inflamed and had this big red streak down it, and it kept looking worse and swelling up.
What if they've never seen veins before? And that was their first. What the fuck is that? Is that an arm snake? What is that?
He was actually the guy who carved Slayer in his arm.
Is Andrew okay?
And I don't want to say anything negative about Dorothy, but I kind of question this next move. So poor Conrad looks like his arm's all fucked up, and who knows what's going on with that right now. And it's nice that Dorothy has taken him to the hospital, but on the way there, she decides to make a pit stop. She pulls in the driveway of her home, goes inside for a minute, wearing a black scarf, and then Conrad sees her emerge from the home a few minutes later, now wearing a red scarf. But that's not actually the only reason why she stopped there. She stopped to check in with Sean and let her mom know that she was going to take one of her coworkers to the medical center. But it still seems like if it was an emergency, maybe you should take him to the hospital first.
Nah.
I'm sure they got a phone there you could call. And
I mean, if the scarf doesn't match the purse, that's a pretty serious.
These are important things.
That is true.
Maybe she didn't want to wear the black scarf because that would like make it think that she's taking him to the funeral, his funeral.
Oh, that is true.
It's like kind of like a psychology thing. I think she was playing. She's a smart lady.
That is pretty true.
Seems like that's probably exactly what happened.
And at the hospital, it turns out that our boy Conrad had been bitten by a black widow spider.
Oh, shitballs. Yeah.
And another fun fact, the name is derived from the mistaken belief that the female invariably kills the male after mating, which they don't actually do, which I thought they did.
Wait,
Like, how old was Scarlett Johansson at this time?
Dorothy's a white chick, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was saying she could have been a black widow and killed him.
Oh.
Okay, continue.
And people rarely die from these bites. Life-threatening reactions are usually in small children or old farts. And the entire time at the hospital while the doctor is looking at Conrad, Dorothy and Pam are together, and they're just kind of hanging out in the waiting room. And it's important to know that the only time Dorothy and Pam were apart from each other was when Conrad came out from seeing the doctor, and Dorothy went to use the restroom real quick. And this is somewhere around midnight.
And Dorothy said that she couldn't wait to do to Pam what she just did to Pam.
Hell yes.
And they all meet again, and Conrad and Pam, they're going to go to the pharmacy real quick to fill his prescription. And in the meantime, Dorothy, she's going to go bring the car around front and wait to pick them up, which all this shouldn't take much time. Like, it should only take a couple of minutes. And Dorothy's car, by the way, is a 1973 white Toyota station wagon. I'm guessing it's a Corolla, but I don't know.
Yes.
I have no idea what other station wagons they make. Do you?
Celica? A Toyota Celica, maybe? It's an old-ass car.
What year is this?
This is a 73.
And this is
Oh, it's
1980
in
right now?
1980.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I guess it's not that bad.
Yeah, so I don't know
Could
what
be
other
worse.
station wagons they make.
Maybe it was Eric Foreman's car, whatever that was.
That might be one. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're a dumbass.
Oh, yeah.
So they're out in the parking lot. Dorothy and the shaggin' wagon, they're nowhere to be seen.
yeah.
So they don't know what the fuck's going on. It's not like she would just leave them. That's way out of character, and it wouldn't really make sense why she would just leave them there and drive off. And this shouldn't have taken more than a few minutes for her to go grab the car and pull around. And Conrad and Pam, they're out there waiting, and they start to get a little worried. And to their surprise, out of nowhere, the white station wagon comes flying out toward them at a high speed, and Rad Pam, that's what I'm going to start calling the combo of them now, they are blinded because the headlights are so bright and aimed right at them. They're just confused as hell. And then the car flies by them, Tokyo drifts out the parking lot, turning right, and then the driver shuts the headlights off and continues to drive off into the night.
Instead of Rad Pam, can they be called Conhead?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they can be Rad Pam Conhead.
Since she left them away, can his name be Conrad Away?
Holy shit.
Like a Fallout reference? Oh, all right. That's slow.
It can.
Yeah, that's low. Conhead's good.
I picked up too many Conrads while walking through the glowing sea. I've got all these Conrads to take care of now.
But that's just like straight from like a horror or thriller movie. That's like scary as fuck when you're waiting on someone and you just see their car fly off, like driving all crazy like that and coming right for you.
Did she have a number 3 painted on the door? Driving all crazy and whatnot?
Fucking Earnhardt.
What's 45's Richard Petty? Right?
I have no idea.
She had
dude.
45. Oh, man, I hope I get that right. She had a Richard Petty on there.
Dude, Andrew's not here, man. We have no idea.
Dude, I would love for Andrew to pull up. He has a number 3 painted on the fucking door. Sidebar, Kev, how the fuck does your dad not painted one of his car doors 3 yet?
He's not an Earnhardt fan.
Dale Jr.?
He liked Mark Martin until he went to the Viagra car.
What the fuck?
And then
Mark Martin.
Mark Martin was awesome.
We
dude.
need to have a talk.
And then he liked Dale Jr. And then after that, he didn't really like anyone.
He's got it like Richard Petty. Everyone does. He wears a fucking cowboy hat. And he looks like Nicolas Cage.
And then since we mentioned how that was kind of like a horror or thriller movie scene, speaking of thriller, this is a shout out to Mark. He used to shove grapes under his top lip at lunch, and then he would do the Michael Jackson Thriller dance. So hashtag thank you, Mark, hashtag Wildman.
Hashtag Wildman.
And now back to Rad Pam. They have no idea what to do now. They don't know if that was Dorothy driving off in a panic or not, or maybe she had some urgent commitment and panicked and had to take off, or maybe something bad happened to Sean, who knows. But it's not like they can just text her and ask, since it is 1980, and not even those shitty track phones with the leather cover were out yet.
We also don't know. Maybe she's kind of had to poop.
I wish she yells out. All of a sudden you see her take off and she lights a candle in the car. Gotta take a shit.
Yeah, I mean, we've all been there.
And so Rad Pam, they just waited there at the hospital, hoping she would come back. And they waited and waited for a couple of hours, but nothing. The realization that Dorothy wasn't coming for them was now apparent. So they went to a phone and called Dorothy's parents' house and asked if she was there and if they'd heard from her. But they hadn't. And Sean was still there, so she hadn't gone back to pick him up or check on him. So something really bad most likely had happened.
Dorothy got picked up by that tornado.
Damn it.
Oh, yes.
I'm surprised it took this long.
It kind of did take a second to get to.
You know which one I've been brewing since I heard her name. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting to unleash it sometime.
I already.
Do you have a joke prepared too for it?
No, because I thought it'd be in bad taste. We're talking about Doornail. And her parents stated that last time they had seen her or spoken to her was earlier in the evening when she stopped by and she changed her black scarf to the red one. And next, Rad Pam alerted the police to try to get some help in finding Dorothy. However, no dice. Plus, the police found no real reason to panic or look for her yet, since she is a 32-year-old woman, and it's not a crime for her to leave or disappear on her own if that is indeed what happened, because an adult can just leave whenever they want. So they didn't seem too worried at all, that was, until a couple more hours later, when her 1973 white Toyota station wagon was found abandoned in an alley 10 miles away from Santa Ana. Oh, and one more thing, this motherfucker was on fire. So somebody had lit the car on fire and left it here in this back alley.
Wow. Toof, why did you do that?
Got to get rid of the evidence. If you can't brush the stains out of the back seat, burn them out.
And there was no sign of Dorothy either. I have no idea why I wrote down days go by, parentheses family matters. I have no idea how that relates to anything that
Holy
happens
shit.
right there.
Find out why.
And the police at this point now get on board. They agreed something was fucked up on the account of the burning car and since she is missing. So they begin their search, and they tell Dorothy's parents that it would be wise not to speak to any reporters. I'm not really sure why. Like, I don't know why they told her that. I don't know if they just... I have no idea why. No clue. And then, a week later, the phone rang at Dorothy's mother's house.
It's the fucking telemarketers, man. I told him, yeah, thank you for the free 7-day trial, but I don't want it. I'm going to forget to cancel.
And remember, when Dorothy was getting the phone calls, she lived at her aunt's house, or she was at work when she got them. So this is at her mother's house. I mean, yeah, there's phone books and stuff, but it's still pretty weird. So the phone rang, her mother picks up, and a disguised male voice on the other end says, "Are you related to Dorothy Scott?" Nervous, she replies, "Yes." Then he replies, "I've got her." And then he hangs up. So that's like creepy and scary as fuck.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, imagine receiving that phone call. And at least maybe it would give you a little bit of hope and getting your daughter back when you hear that, but it's still like scary as shit.
If anything, it would be like worrying, but slightly relieving, because the "I've got her" kind of at least insinuates that she's alive still.
Yeah.
Which that's not... Well, how many days has it been? A week?
This is a week later.
I mean, that's kind of nice, though, like, in a weird, like, silver lining in a way. Like, yeah, she might be kidnapped, but at least she's alive and kidnapped.
Yeah. Soon after this call, her father, Jacob, went to the Santa Ana Register, the local newspaper, and they ran a story on the disappearance of his daughter. And now, like, I really didn't want to say the name Pam Head earlier, but I really, really don't want to fucking read this name. So the same exact day that the paper ran that story, the paper's editor, Pat Riley,
yes.
received a phone call. And it was LeBron telling him that he's coming home, coming home.
Come on, man.
To win the Cleveland Cavaliers a fucking championship.
He did.
But no, for real, Pat Riley, that's his name.
Well, let's not.
Dude, I honestly think there's a reporter for ESPN also called Pat Riley.
Let's not, though. We can just not.
I love that Tim. I love that Tim refuses to believe it. No, it's not. Oh shit. But
we're not gonna do it.
But no, for Pat Riley, he gets a phone call, and the man on the other end tells him, "I killed her. I killed Dorothy Scott. She was my love. I caught her cheating with another man. She denied having someone else, so I killed her." And according to Pat Riley, the
Can you just say Can you just say like one? Just like say Pat instead.
I can't, because you might think I'm talking about Pat from Mad TV. And according to Pat Riley, the call, or it was Saturday Night Live, wasn't it? Fuck. Anyways, now according to Pat Riley, the caller was able to provide details that only the person involved in her disappearance would know. Details such as she was wearing a red scarf. And also, the man knew the reason that she was at the hospital, and that reason being because of the Black Widow spider bite that Conrad had gotten. So this guy knew those details. And this is pretty fucking nuts because according to Pam Head, Dorothy never left her sight at the hospital except for the quick trip she took to the bathroom. And she stated that she never stopped at or used a payphone, so there's no way that she told anyone about why she was going to the hospital. So that's pretty fucking creepy.
Yeah.
And so the first person they initially went after in regards of a suspect was her ex-husband and father of Sean. However, he had a, quote, airtight alibi, and he had been in his hometown of Missouri at the time, and so they immediately ruled him out. So yeah, his father had an airtight alibi. I don't know what it is. They never mention what it is. I would kind of like to know what it is, but that's all I found. So who the hell is calling Dorothy and then kidnapped her and set her car on fire?
I mean, maybe like back then the technology, you have to tap the phones while they're on the line. But I mean, they really couldn't just like trace the phone call?
We'll mention a little bit of that.
Like prehistoric caveman telephones.
Well, we'll mention a little bit why they couldn't do that.
Oh.
Her coworkers at the psych shop and the head shop, they were all questioned numerous times, but nothing. And as far as her employment, she was a secretary for both places, but she worked out of an office that was in the back. So she wasn't like face-to-face with any of her customers. So police believe that it most likely wasn't one of the customers that was responsible. To me, it seems like it would have to be somebody that is very close, someone that could get in there incognito. So like most likely a coworker, I would think. But I'm not sure how many employees are working at those places. And also, let's not forget that she mentioned that the voice on the phone sounded familiar.
It was Conrad.
He watched the car drive off.
A desperate man does many tricks.
It's like that scene in fucking Back to the Future where the car drives off right as Marty runs up.
They could have easily,
Conrad did that.
he could have easily had an accomplice.
That's true.
And the thing is, when was the last time you guys saw Andrew?
Or Pat Riley.
Maybe they're the same person.
Honestly, I'm going to ask you one question, Kev. Do you trust a man with the name Conrad?
No.
Okay.
Do you trust a man with the name Andrew?
I trust him as much as I trust Pat Riley.
Oh, well, there we go. It was Andrew.
Now, what if Conrad had gotten falsely accused, though, and convicted and gone to prison? And then at one time, they needed to transfer some of the prison inmates in an airplane. Conrad Air.
Oh, shit. As long as Nicolas Cage was alive, we would be fine.
And here's a small note that was mentioned in the article that was on medium.com. The two shops that are owned and operated as a joint business, well, one side of it, the psych shop, actually used to be owned by Dorothy's father, but he would eventually end up selling it to John Cosilla, or I don't know how to pronounce it. John
Goodman.
Coachella. And he was already the owner of John's head shop, so he owned one side, Dorothy's father owned the other, and then Dorothy's father sold it to him. So John, he now owned both stores and combined them. And her dad, Jacob, he still sort of worked there in a way, but he was more like the handyman type worker, and he would do the repairs and things like that. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if that has anything to do with this, but it possibly could.
Seems like it might.
And the search for Dorothy would continue for another 4 years.
Holy shit.
Until August 6th, 1984, when a construction worker came across some skeletal remains along the Santa Ana Canyon Road in Anaheim, but the remains were actually of a dog. And then they dug a little deeper, and underneath the dog's bones, they found a human head, a pelvis, 2 thighs, and an arm. So that's pretty fucked up.
Can I get an 8-piece all legs, please?
Jesus Christ, too.
So this fucker killed her and then killed a dog and put it on top of her?
Maybe, who knows?
Maybe the dog is the killer.
Holy shit. Double homicide.
Murder-suicide
That's it.
Yeah.
by dog. We don't know.
The dog was the one leaving the phone calls.
Every dog has his day.
Hello, this is dog.
That's what he says when he calls her.
And also with the remains, there was a turquoise ring and a watch, which Dorothy's mother immediately recognized and knew right away that this sadly was the remains of Dorothy. And a week later, authorities would also confirm that it was indeed Dorothy Jane Scott. The autopsy, however, could not determine a cause of death. And the sad story on the disappearance, kidnapping, and murder of Dorothy Scott does not end here, though, because this piece of shit that killed her isn't finished. Since her disappearance in 1980 and all the way up until April 1984, so that's 4 years, every Wednesday, the killer continues to call her parents' house.
What?
And when her mother answers the phone, the man on the other end would say, "Is Dorothy home?" And then he would hang up.
That's creepy as fuck.
It's so
dude.
fucked up. Sometimes he would say, "I've got her," and then he would hang up.
Yeah.
And not only does this dickhead stalk and taunt Dorothy before he murdered her, but he also does this like after the murder and once a week. So this is the next 4 years he does this once a week.
I'd almost even see sometimes even Sean might answer the phone on accident. Like, oh, there's a phone call and he answers it. And that guy might even said something to him.
That'd be pretty fucked up. Oh, wait, no, this is her parents' house. Sean lives with her aunt. Well, I don't know. He might have lived there now.
Yeah.
But that's
maybe he
fucked
went with his
up.
dad.
He probably lived with his teacher, Mr. Turner.
So it's harassment, but there wasn't really anything they could do about this back then because it wasn't like a law. There's really nothing they could really do. Sometimes he would even say, "I killed her," and then hang up. And the only reason that he stopped calling after the 4 years of this shit was because Jacob, her father, finally answered the phone when he called, and he just stopped forever after that. Like, he didn't even say anything. He just hung up, and that was the last time that the calls ever happened.
So when I read that, I didn't understand that. So how many times did he call before the dad finally answered?
Well, the thing is he would only call Wednesdays during the week when Jacob was at work.
Oh, okay.
And this one time he answered was because Jacob didn't go to work that day.
So that dude was so much of a bitch, or that guy or that girl, whoever did it. As soon as that guy answered, they're like, "No, fuck that, I'm done calling."
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know if he knew the father or like was actually like afraid or what, but this is what finally caused him to quit. I mean, he did this for fucking 4 years.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Damn it, now we know it was Andrew.
And when he stopped, like when Jacob answered the phone, and this was the last call, this was 3 months before her remains would be found.
Wow.
And they tried to trace the call but couldn't. Like, they even tapped their phone line. But anytime he called and they answered, he would say his one line and then he would hang up. So that's why they couldn't trace it.
Oh, is the whole like you have to wait 30 seconds before the call actually gets traced thing true?
I don't know the exact details, but I know it wasn't
long enough.
work. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he would hang up. He would just say, "I've got her," or "Is Dorothy home?" and hang
Okay.
up. That's so fucked up, knowing you killed her and you're calling her parents, taunting them for 4 years.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. So here's a theory.
He should. Too bad they didn't have Xbox Live back then, or he could have just let out that dickishness on there. That's probably why we have fewer serial killers today.
Because of Xbox Live.
They have an outlet. They have a more constructive outlet.
So here's a theory, and this is from an interview with Dorothy's son Sean and an author and blogger that went by Crime Blogger 1983. And in this conversation between them, Sean talks about how through some of his mother's friends in Missouri, he became aware of a person named Mike Butler. See, Mike's sister worked at the shop with Dorothy, and this is how Mike came to know her. And according to those that knew Dorothy, Mike became obsessed with her. And this would explain why she mentioned the male voice in the other end of the phone line sounded familiar. And it would also explain how he knew like all about her daily routines, what she was wearing, where she was going, things like that, because he would always hang around the shop. But this is just a theory. Like, this isn't anything that's fact. This is just a theory. So I don't want to go completely saying it was this guy.
I say not to like have her sister out him. Say you're a fellow secretary with this girl Dorothy. Your brother is like maybe like flirting or kind of like always asking about her or something, or even mentions her, and then she gets kidnapped and murdered. You're not gonna think maybe a 1% chance it might be your brother. Like, that's kind of weird.
I don't know.
Like, does it go into detail like how obsessed he was with her, or?
Yeah, we'll start talking a little bit about it right
cool.
here. And supposedly Mike was into some cult-like activities, and he was said to have been unstable. So he was a person that the law enforcement in the area were all very, very well aware of. And like we said, this is all speculation, and this is from an interview with Dorothy's son. And so I don't want to sound like we're just blaming this guy when we have no idea, actually. But according to them, if he is into some cult-like stuff, then maybe that's why there was a dead dog buried on top of her remains. Although to me, it seems like maybe it was just there to try and throw people off if they ever did find the body. And
Man, the new pet cemetery is really fucking dark.
that it is. Because, I mean, that is fucking weird that they buried a dog on top of her.
Absolutely.
So I don't know if that was, like we said, cult-like. I don't know. Or if they just put that there thinking if someone digs and finds bones and sees a dog's body, like, why would you continue digging?
I probably think it's that. That actually kind of is.
That's actually really clever.
Slicking away, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, absolutely.
And another note, if Mike knew Dorothy, then he most likely knew her father, Jacob, since he used to own the shop, and he was the repairman man there.
Repairman man.
And perhaps when Jacob answered the phone, he got scared that maybe Jacob would recognize his voice, so that's why he stopped and never called again.
Oh, fuck, that pins him, like, really good right there.
But we don't know. This is all
It's
just...
still highly possible.
I like that, though.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
And because he was only calling on Wednesdays, like we mentioned, this was during a time when only Dorothy's mother was home because Jacob would be at work. However, on that day he answered, that was the only Wednesday he stayed home.
Yeah.
And also, this might explain how he knew their phone number, since he was now calling her parents' house. Like, everyone at the shop had Jacob's number because he was the repair guy and all that stuff. But then again, there are phone books as well. But Jacob, he stated that he never actually suspected anyone from the swinger shop to be involved. But he could have and may have been wrong, so who knows? And unfortunately, this is a case that will most likely never be solved unless the person involved comes forward and admits it. And if it was Mike Butler, he passed away in 2014, so we'll never know.
Huh.
And sadly, Jacob, he would pass away in 1994. And Vera, which was Dorothy's mother, she passed away in 2002. So both of them went to their graves without ever knowing who took their daughter away from them or why. So it's just a super, like, sad as shit case.
So it's just Sean left pretty much then?
Sean, I believe he moved... I don't know, because his interview was saying how he went back to Missouri and stuff. So I don't know if he's living in Missouri, because that's where they originally were from. But that's where he said he met up and talked to his mother's friends and started this theory and believing that maybe this Mike Butler dude was involved with it.
Okay.
And there's a lot of information on Mike Butler online. Like, he was in, like, the Army and some other shit. I don't know. I didn't really read too much into it because I didn't want to go blasting a guy if you don't really know. Granted, he is dead now, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is everything we have on this case. You guys got any thoughts or theories on it?
Well, I mean, there's not very many suspects to choose from, really. Mike?
I mean, what do you think? It was like a coworker then? Or do you think it was just maybe someone... It's hard, like, because, like, you really don't have any idea who it could be.
When the dad answers and that guy never calls again, like, spooked, it kind of makes me think it was him. Just because that really does make sense. Although, because, like, if the murderer wants to taunt the mom, he would also want to taunt the father. Like, I killed her. And then hang up.
Yeah.
Because he's a pussy.
Yeah.
If it was him, that Mike Butler dude, because Dorothy did mention to people that his voice sounded familiar, she just didn't know who.
Yep.
So that's why the theory is he was afraid that the dad would recognize his voice. So I don't know if he saw him a lot or they talked a lot or something. I have no idea.
Is Conrad still alive?
I think so.
All right.
But this is just so fucking scary and creepy and fucked up. Like,
It's incredibly creepy. It really is. I'm with you.
You think it was that dude?
Yeah.
His name's Mike, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, since that is the end of our case, I do want to mention our honorary brother and our Patreon shout-outs. So, our honorary brother this week, if you do want to be an honorary brother, you just have to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, and then we just pick from there. So, this review is titled Old Fart, 5 stars, and it's by Karaoke. I think that's what it is, K-A-R-I-O-K-E-E. And the review goes, I shouldn't like your show. I think I'm too old and female, but you guys make me laugh. It's a great show. Keep up the good work.
Well, it's good to hear we have some cougars listening to us.
Maybe they're trying to give a subliminal to us. Like they named their name Karaoke because they want you to sing the review.
Oh, shit. Sing it, Toof. I think I'm too old and female.
I think I'm too old and female.
But you guys make me laugh.
But you guys make me laugh.
So hard.
It's a great show.
It's a great show. She didn't stutter, does she?
No.
It's a great show.
Keep up the good work.
Keep up the great work.
It was all right. That's good. All righty. And now
That was like somewhere between like a Christmas carol and a fucking like radio jingle
Oh my God, yes.
I loved
and
it.
elevator music.
And now on to our Patreon shout-outs. We do have 2 new $5 Patreon subscribers to shout out. The first one is Aaron Hammond, and he asked us to cover a case, which we added that to the list. And it was a shooting at a bowling alley, I think. I can't remember, but it's something I never heard of. I did like a brief look over of it. So
I tried to ask him, but I kept getting it wrong.
Hell yeah.
Calling him Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
And then our second Patreon shout-out is...
Wait, did Aaron Hammond have a relative who started a dinosaur theme park and spared no expense?
and spared no expense. Fuck yeah. And our second Patreon shout-out, Melanie Curley. So that's a fucking sweet name. I
That is a
like
cool name.
Arby's Curly Fries, and that's all I can think of.
I was going Mo and Shep.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I was headed for that too. I feel we all were though.
Larry Curly.
I used to get called Mo because I had a wicked bowl cut.
No.
Hey, Kevin, reminds me of that one lyric. I met this little girlie. Her name was Melanie Curley. That is not the lyrics, but we're going to keep it to that.
They were
Fuck
good
yeah.
enough. They were good enough.
That was good, man. That was some psychopathic Esham for you.
Yeah.
So, alrighty. Spence, you want to hit us that closing shit, brother?
Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Brothers Commonplace. We really appreciate your support. If you'd like to support us even more, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can spread the podcast far and wide on social media. Check us out on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Do we even have a Snapchat? I don't know.
Yeah, I do. It's just my personal one, but I have it as Kevin T. Bro C.
Follow Kevin T. Bro C on Snapchat.
The
if you
actual
want to see all those great nude snaps that we send.
The actual name is like KGreen6337.
Oh, there you have it.
There you go.
You can email us at brotherscommonplace@gmail.com. You can check out our website, BrothersCommon.Place, where you can listen to all the episodes. Be sure to subscribe. Check us out on iTunes, on CastBox, on whatever you like to use. And,
Spreaker.
Spreaker, absolutely. And give us one of them sweet, sweet 5-star reviews, and you could become the next honorary brother. Support us on Patreon, and you can get access to bonus content where we get a little crazy.
I show my boner there.
It's the biggest boner you've ever seen on the radio.
Great size on it, yeah.
It's just an hour-long audio file of Toof just dangling his nuts into the microphone.
Audio.
The funny thing is we haven't figured out the difference between that and our actual podcast, but
I thought that was when Andrew got too close to the mic. God damn it.
And special shout out to everyone that has already followed and subscribed and shared our podcast, and everyone that's left us a review on iTunes or signed up to be a supporter on Patreon. That is patreon.com/thebrotherscommonplace. And like we said, you get a bunch of bonus stuff, and I'll mail you stickers and send you a thank you card. And we also have a P.O. box if you want to send us anything, whether it's just like a letter or fan mail or something cool you made. We've actually had some people send us a lot of cool shit.
Or a bomb.
Well, no, not that. And I usually only check it like once a month, So if I don't mention anything you've sent us, that's why. Because I'll probably take a picture of everything you guys send and put on Instagram. Cool shit like that.
What Kevin doesn't know is I intercept the packages and I eat them.
Yes, he does. But now I do know. And our P.O. Box is P.O. Box 31, Nova, Ohio, 44859. So if you do want to send us anything, send it to that. And yeah, keep on sharing and spreading the word of the brothers. Thank you.
And Dad, don't send used condoms to the fucking address and say these are from your girlfriend. I know it's you.
You send us some good stuff, that would be really super Nova.
Oh, fuck yeah, I like that. All right, guys. So, they're eventually gonna figure out that I'm not funny. They haven't figured that out yet, but they're going to. So, what I need you guys to do is, think of funny things so I can, stay on the podcast. I would like to continue to be on this, but I'm not a funny guy. So, you guys could, give me ideas. I have none. I don't even have anything right now. Give me something. Well, we like movie ideas. We like to do those. We like movie ideas. Anything. Give us a lot of stuff. I have nothing.
Also, I want to mention, every time we do a movie review on Patreon, we're going to have a contest where we sign something and mail it out. The first one we had is for our Demon Wind episode. We said the first person that sent us a selfie of them watching Demon Wind, we were going to sign a DVD of Demon Wind and mail it to them. And we have a winner. It was Chloe from Canada.
Is that the description we should call them? Are they a winner?
Well, I don't know. The thing is, I don't know why. I was like, I don't know why anyone would want our autograph or Demon Win on DVD, but you get both. Yeah, fuck, I'm mailing it. We're all gonna sign it and mail it to them.
It's like you.
I'm keeping the Blu-ray.
Can I have it?
It's the shitty DVD, dude. You don't want that shit, man. You're better than that.
I probably don't. But
You're better than that, dude.
It's like they wanted something, but they're gonna get two like horrible things happen: our autograph and the DVD. It's like eating Taco Bell and it's delicious, but you get food poisoning and the shits.
So keep your ears open because we'll be mentioning whatever the contests are, like what you got to do. Normally, it's like send a selfie of you watching this shitty movie, and we'll send you something cool for that. But yeah, she sent us the snap. She's like, yeah. Someone probably already won, but here it is. I was like, nope, you're the only one. Yeah. Still the only one. So, congrats.
It wasn't hard because Daniel must have been doing something that day.
He's like, I love you guys, but even I wouldn't watch that fucking movie. Oh He'll go to Vietnam. He will go to Vietnam and make all the people there point to his shirt and send pictures, but he's like, I'm not fucking watching Demon Win.
I'll live in Australia, but fuck that.
But fuck that. All right, Toof. Wait, is it words of wisdom, or do you have something to say first?
Yeah, I just checked our Brothers Commonplace Twitter, and I got a message from your grandpa.
Oh, nice.
What'd it say, dude?
Happy anniversary, I fucked your girlfriend. Words of wisdom time?
Yes, sir.
All right. Oh, all right, cool. With the hit of me and Andrew's like parody cosplay of the Undertaker thing, we were like, wrestling is kind of big, but it's not really big. Like, what can we do that like clickbait where we can just pull people in? Star Wars. So we are combining two things at once. Me and Andrew's love of the pornographic and people's love of the franchise that maybe Disney's ruining. Who knows yet? One man, one jar is where he sticks the jar in his ass and it breaks, right?
One man, one jar.
So me and Andrew took hours scouring the fucking Walmarts across the country, crafting our Jar Jar costumes. We sat across from each other, jars in asses, antennas on head. We must sit down and see if we can complete one man, one Jar Jar.
2 men, 2 Jar Jars.
I see a single tear come across Andrew's cheek. on the live stream. We're live streaming this, of course. Brothers Commonplace posters in the back, a podcast playing in the background.
Of course.
A fucking hypnotizing wheel spinning in the background, too, so it draws them in.
Spence has those crazy doctor glasses that hypnotize you.
Oh, yeah. No, Andrew's just wearing his normal glasses so I could see his Jar Jar eyes. The tears rolling down his face. I see the jar cracking. I know he's going to be the first one.
The fucking first one.
He looks at me, and I've never heard Andrew talk like this before, but he says, Annie! Annie! And I'm like, Andrew? He's like, no, Annie, it's me! The bottle starts cracking more. I know that his anus is about to prolapse that fucking jar into a million pieces.
Dear God, yes.
He sits down fully. I hear the snapping sound, the cracking sound. He has become Jar Jar Breaks. Yeah, that's it.
That was it.
The punchline is Jar Jar Breaks.
Jar Jar Breaks.
It cracks and shatters in Andrew's anus, and he becomes Jar Jar Breaks.
That's really funny. That's really funny, dude. That's funny as shit.
Yeah.
That's good.
Alrighty, and to close this episode out, before we do all of our stuff, just make it delete. I don't know. I'm gonna open up.
Yeah, I just saw you pull out something that it says the Bible on it.
It's Jeremiah's Bible. It is Behind the Paint by Violent J. I'm going to open it up to a random page and just read a random passage in it, and we'll see how it goes.
Just so people know, this is a biography by Violent J about his life, starting the band, ICP, and everything.
The answer
I actually enjoy it.
The answer is always going to be no. It's not good.
So this section of the book is from the Shaggy Toed Up Guide to Crime, Volume 1, Ninjas in Action, and this title is Boy Meets Girl. I'm sure this tactic is probably used by many a young thug today because it's very, very fucking easy and effective. Your homie meets a girl somewhere. He gives her a fake name from the start. Now, when you're younger, of course you're not allowed over to the girl's house unless her mom's gone for the night. So on a good night, or a good skipping school day when her mom and dad are at work, you bring your whole fucking crew over. When you're in her bedroom fucking her or whatever, your road dogs just fucking loot the joint. Man, you just fucking take everything. Put the VCRs outside the fucking windows. You gotta keep the TVs and shit there because she'll notice I'm gone right away. But the VCRs, take those. Mad easy. Go in her parents' room, steal all their jewelry, fucking whatever of value. We'd even steal shit out of their cupboards. Cookies and fucking chocolate milk and shit. You know, frozen pizzas, anything.
Oh my God.
We would just strip the whole fucking house. Once you get the chick in her room, you gotta rap to her for a while before you start fucking, right? At least like 10 or 15 minutes, which gives your homies plenty of time to load the car full of shit. Plus, sometimes the bitch would be so drunk by the time she came out of the room or whatever, she wouldn't even notice anyway. This is so fresh. We were at this bitch's house pulling that tactic once, and we ordered a pizza. When the guy got there, we paid for the pizza with a necklace that we stole out of the bitch's mom's room. Pretty fucking fresh, huh? None of that fucking ever happened.
There's no fucking way.
The great thing about all of this is the fact that we don't have enough fans to where people would, know my move. So I can continue to do this because, nobody's listening.
Dude, I think the biggest lie about that is him saying he could either rap for 10 minutes or fuck for 10 minutes.
Hey, fuck you, man. He can.
What's funny is, it's slightly believable until the ordering pizza part, and you're like, oh, fucking K. Yeah, I bet you did.
And he just gave him a necklace. So I love this book, Behind the Paint by Violent J, but it's 90% just lies and bullshit, but it's such a fun read. It's so shitty, too, because he'll be like, yeah, I had this job, and he names off 60 jobs. He'll list everything.
It sounds pretty awesome, and I feel like somebody should try to do, the things in this book.
Alrighty, thank you, everyone, for listening. Be good.
Stay safe.
And laughed at our stuff.
#Wildman.
Oh, fuck yeah. #Wildman.
That book is crazy.
#take a bite out of crime.
Oh, shit. Scruff McGruff.
#you Patreons Patreon.
Yes, hell yeah.
#you turn me Patreon.
Oh,
damn.
fuck.
Damn.
#Pamhead.
Hello, it's your boy, Kevin Michael Green, and I'm here to tell you something. Have you ever ate a peanut butter sandwich? Well, it splatters all over the place. And what does a cat do? Waka waka.
I'm sorry I farted on your mic, man.
It's for Toof's intro. He just farted into the mic.
We don't know which one you farted into.
Dude, just mark this mic from now on. I'll just take it.
We gotta get a marker.
Yeah. I'm number 3. It makes kind of sense.
It was worth it, dude. It was worth it.
All right.
It's time to break the cycle of waste and mess. Time to stop accepting that the way things have been done are the way they should be done. Control-Alt-Delete everything you thought you knew about how to period. We're flipping the script, we're throwing out the book, we're challenging the period status quo. The Diva Cup is eco-friendly, reusable, and offers up to 12 hours leak-free protection. So what are you waiting for? Join the inner revolution with the Diva Cup. The Diva Cup is used for menstrual flow only. Always read and follow the user guide.
You teared up because the barista screwed up your order. You finished a pint of fudge ripple ice cream in front of the freezer. You yelled at your desk neighbor, Leslie, for breathing too loud. This time, don't go and buy another box of tampons. Question what you thought you knew about periods. Question what you buy, what you use, what the usual way, right way is to deal with it. Revolutionize. Switch it up. Try the Diva Cup and see how it can make dealing with your period a whole lot better.